Hey, I don't know if everyone can see us. It's Karen and Neil, Private Label University. How are you guys? So we're just gonna, I know we're on a delay. We have a little bit of a delay. This is live. So bear with us with the delay, and we're gonna just wait a few seconds here. And we have a few people I know trying to jump on. We also have a co-presenter with us that we are sharing actually a secret, a little surprise speaker at the end of the webinar. So you're going to definitely want to stay tuned for that. We're just waiting for her to jump on as well. She will be there soon. I think that's her actually texting me to tell me she's about to jump on. So stay tuned for that as well. So we'll just actually talk a little bit right now, if you're new to webinars, what this webinar is kind of all about as well. So let's go over some of the
do's and don'ts.
The do's and don'ts. So you will see there is a chat box up, and I believe it's either on the top of your screen or it might be over to the right of your screen. You can click on that and you can send us messages, ask questions there. We're going to go through the webinar and then at the end take questions, and we'll be able to answer your questions then. But as things come up or you got value with some things, type it in, let us know, because we love to get your feedback. If there's anything that you want us to cover that maybe we didn't cover, then let us know and we can talk about that as well. So that's over in the chat box. So actually, if you guys want to just kind of say hi, tell me where you're from, that would be great. So I could just make sure the chat box is actually working and that you guys can hear us. So if you can do that, that would be great. And I'm going to sit here for a sec and look at that. And then we have one request here. Okay. So, okay. Hey, Kim has joined us here. So she is our secret guest at the end that we're going to share an amazing story and an amazing experience with. So you'll get to meet her in a little bit. So Kim, if you can hear us, welcome, and stay tuned because we can't wait to share your story with everyone. So perfect with that. And again, so I'm just going to jump back into the chat box. So please just tell me, yes, you can hear us. That would be great. And tell us where you're from. And then we will get started. So again, you have the chat box. You have, I see there's a couple of questions. If you want to ask that question or your hand to raise your hand, if you want to ask in the chat box, that would be great. And then we will get started in just a moment. Perfect. Okay, great. Oh, wow. Lynn, Tel Aviv. Awesome. We were just in Tel Aviv. Amazing. Thank you for joining us. Serena, Ontario. Woo, we love Ontario. We love Canada. Two of our favorite places that we've been. Amazing. So anyone else want to share with us where you're from? This is awesome. Okay, so as we go along, again, I know there is a delay with us speaking, so bear with us. And so cute. And like I said, it is live. So because of that, we have to take into consideration that you will be getting some of our very savvy technical abilities. As you know, any of you who have followed us in the past, technology is not our forte. We like to stick to private labeling products. So bear with us. But, oh, there's no delay. Okay, perfect. That's even better. Perfect. Okay, so let's get started. I'm actually, Kim, if you're here, you can hear us. I'm going to put you on mute for a little bit here. And we are actually going to go into share screening. So I'm going to share my screen with you and we will start the webinar. If you have any questions that come up, then feel free to, again, post them in the chat as we are presenting. Might not be able to get to all the questions right at the time that you present them, but we will have a Q&A at the end where we will answer any of your questions. And hey, Lloyd, Florida, love Boca Raton, love it, amazing.
And if you see my head move, we have multiple screens here, so it's not like I'm being bored and looking over here.
Or a
it's
robot.
Because I'm looking at the other screen as well, making sure everything's being monitored.
And I do have to mention, I mean, any of you who have followed us in the past, we have St. Bernards, as I'm sure you know. They do not leave our side. So we have Mozart and George and even Lola beside us. So if you do hear a little bit of snoring, it's not Neil. It's usually actually George, even though Mozart does get the blame for it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to share my screen, and we will then go into the webinar. Yeah, perfect. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so let us just make sure that you guys can see our screen here. So if you can see the screen, just give me like a thumbs up that, hey, yeah, I can see the screen. Just say yay, yeah, something. That would be great because we're going to get started. All right.
Double check that.
Yeah, we're just checking the screen here. Okay, perfect. So let's start the webinar right now. So why not going to China may be preventing you from making millions on Amazon? This is what we're going to talk about because this is a huge, huge deal. So we just want to be frank with you. This is a no BS zone. We are not going to be, talking about irrelevant stuff. We are going to be just jumping right into what you came here for. And that is really, to understand what that secret weapon is to this top Amazon seller's success. Everyone wants to know, right? And let me tell you, it's private labeling. I told you we weren't going to be BSing about it. It's all about private labeling products. So Neil, why don't you talk a little bit about what that means, what private labeling is all about?
Sure. So to make it real simple, private labeling really is just taking your label and slapping it on a product. It's really taking any type of product and then you're putting your name or your label right on that product. There's no rocket science to it. People have been doing it for centuries. And it's a simple process, but you have to take it at what it actually is, and it's taking a product and putting your label on it. And of course, making money doing so. So the great thing about private labeling, and I've been teaching this to buying groups and chain stores and importers for years and years and years, actually over 30 years, is the beauty about it is you're in full control. And that's the key about remembering what private labeling is. You have full control of the price, of the results, the marketing, having the exclusive distribution, really exclusive control of the whole product. And being in control of the product and the brand is the key, of course, making money. Control of how much money you want to make, how much money you want, how much you want to have your hands on the business and in the business. Again, controlling the profit, controlling that price is essential when you're private labeling. And of course, control the longevity of selling that product, which means really you have full control of your future, of what the product's going to do and your income. So that's the beauty of private labeling, of making you in full control of the product.
So how are total newbies becoming these top Amazon sellers and making a ton of money on Amazon? And like Neil said, it's all about private labeling. So let's have a look here. We want to take you through a little chart here that was displayed. It was a survey that was done with Amazon sellers in 2016. And it's all about private labeling. So why don't you talk a little bit about...
Well, you can see that according to this chart, there's now well over 2 million sellers worldwide, and that can account for over 40% of the total units sold on Amazon. And that's a huge amount of sellers. And again, this is a past survey. The great thing is you really want to look at that all the money that's being made, the big money, is all in private labeling. So if you're selling physical products now through either retail arbitrage or wholesale arbitrage, or you are private labeling and you're not having as much success, you've got to see that private labeling for long-term business and profits is the key to do it. And you've got 54% of the sellers are making over 100K in sales.
And this
that's
is
54%, and that's private labeling, just private labeling.
And this is private labeling. So, and this is a number from 2016, and this number is growing every single day because more and more people are private labeling products, and they're kind of getting away from all that arbitrage because of all the restrictions that Amazon is now putting on sellers. So a lot of people are turning to private labeling. This is the way to go. It'd be interesting to see what this survey will show in the end of 2017. I bet you that number will go up.
Dramatically. Definitely. Because again, as Karen mentioned, people are seeing how more difficult, and I guess the rat race of just doing arbitrage, whereas with private labeling, you really have that control. And again, controlling the price, not being restricted. There's just beauty to that business.
Because you think about it, there's over 2 million sellers, and that number is growing as well. And if more than half are private labeling, that number is growing. This is the place to be. That's why private labeling is the key. And like I said, with all those restrictions that are going on with retail and wholesale arbitrage and, being map pricing and all the things that are restricting them, a lot of people are turning to private labeling. So right now is the time to jump in before everyone is in it, right?
And it stabilizes your business. That's also people forget. When you're doing the arbitrage, you really can't stabilize because you're not in control of that product. Once you start private labeling, you can stabilize. You can actually monitor the process and control exactly what you're going to do, how you're going to sell it, who you're going to sell it to, and that price.
Absolutely. So why are the stats important to you?
So of the 3 physical product business models, retail arbitrage, wholesale arbitrage, and private labeling is growing the fastest.
And the myth that you need a lot of money to private label a product, it's just not true.
And you don't need an MBA to private label. Anyone can do it. That's the great thing about it.
So let us tell you a little bit about who we are if you are new to us with the Private Label University. So we created the Private Label University as a place for like-minded product entrepreneurs to come together and learn about a 60-year-old private label system that we've been using for over 3 decades to private label products for some of the largest chain stores. And it's a place where we all kind of speak the same language and where we share and network and grow so that we can better our business and create products that are changing lives. So we created the Private Label University for you guys, for all of us, so we can all grow and learn from each other. It's a place, like I said, for like-minded product entrepreneurs to share in your experiences.
And that's me. I'm Neil Gorsman, partner of Karen, and I've been in business for over 35 years. I actually started in business on the opposite end. I was in retail development, retail importing, product development, manufacturing, private labeling, and distribution. And I was doing it far before Amazon and eBay and the use of computers and online sites. And I was selling directly to chain stores and independent retailers and even importers and manufacturers worldwide. I was private labeling for some of the largest and most famous chain stores in the world, some of them like Walmart, Michaels, Aaron Brothers, Toys R Us, Hobby Lobby. And a lot of them sought after me because I had the experience of spending so much time overseas, so much time working with manufacturers, working for the development of products, and private labeling those products. And I would see that they were doing, of course, these retailers do retail arbitrage. And I said, there's going to be value if you can promote your own name, you can promote your own brand. And they really didn't know how to do that. So I assisted them and I trained them and I educated them on how to do that. And I still continue to do that today. And of course, we have our own products that we've developed for many other companies and for ourselves, which we also sell online on platforms like Amazon and eBay. And I used a system. It was a formula that my dad developed over 60 years ago. He's just turning 90. He's still using this formula today on importing and private labeling products. And we use this and we teach this formula. It's foolproof in importing products, in building relationships, in knowing how to work with companies and having that private label developed.
So I'm not as colorful as Neil with his background, but we are a husband and wife team, and I'm just going to kind of jump right into the private label section of my life. I started private labeling products about 18 years ago. Actually, just a little less than 18 years ago, while looking after our young kids. So I was a full-time stay-home mom. We had just moved from Canada into the US, and I wasn't working, kind of acclimating. And we needed an extra income. So I had an idea, and I wanted to create this bag line, and I wanted to private label it. So, of course, I was living with the private label guru. So I asked him to help me try to private label these bags and then launch it here in the US. And so I reached out to Neil, and Neil taught me the system, how to private label a product internationally, import it in, and then launch a business. And I did. I launched a bag business. It did really well. It was an exciting time for us, and it brought in some extra income, which was great. And I guess the takeaway here is that if I can do it, anyone can do it. If Neil can teach me, he can teach anyone. Anyone can do this. And that's what's so great about private labeling is you don't have to have an MBA. You don't have to have, you just have to have the steps, really. You need to have the steps to do it. So once I had those steps, I was able to implement and get it done. So like I said, the big takeaway here is if I can do it, anyone can do it. So what's the game plan for today for this webinar? Well, we're going to look at why looking for products on online sites like Alibaba is costing you a ton more time and money. And this is what we're going to talk about, focusing on top sellers, because they're not looking on Alibaba for products. And we're going to talk about that.
We're also going to talk about how to put more money in your pocket at the end of the day, because really you're going in business. It may be fun, it may be exciting, but it's all about you want to make money doing so. And of course, having fun doing so.
And then we're going to jump in what you need to do to take action right now that will save you a ton of time and money in your business. And we call it our Panda Express model. And we're going to jump into this because this is why you guys are all here, right? We're all here to find out more about China and sourcing directly right from the source. So is this webinar for you?
So if you're already selling products, whether it be retail arbitrage, wholesale arbitrage, or even private labeling, and not making money, then this webinar is for you.
If you're spending way too much time looking for products to sell on Amazon and you're ready to get the job done fast, then this webinar is definitely for you.
And if you are ready, of course, to take action, find products that are going to make you money and do it live with the real gurus with over 3 decades of private label experience, then this webinar is definitely for you.
So let's jump into the game plan here. So why looking for products on online sites like Alibaba is costing you a ton more time and money. So Neil, let's jump in right into Alibaba and let's talk about this.
So the key, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Alibaba, of course, Alibaba is a major online platform for all of Asia and Southeast Asia for companies just to show products. It's a selling site. Doesn't mean it's just a manufacturer site. Same with AliExpress, which I'll briefly go over, but it's a selling site. Anyone can sell products on Alibaba. It really isn't limited. And so what happens is with Alibaba, it takes away, if you're just spending all your time, you're spending much too much time on Alibaba because people spend days, months. We've actually spoken to clients who spend years trolling on Alibaba looking for that product. And the problem that you have to remember is millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of other people are also looking on Alibaba. So what happens is way too much competition. Everyone is looking at that exact same product. So the top Amazon sellers, they are not looking at Alibaba. They're not looking at AliExpress. AliExpress is actually just a big retail catalog for any company, anyone, whether it be their neighbor, their mother-in-law, agent, trading company, anyone can show on Alibaba. So you're not getting the best pricing. You're not getting the newest products. You're really not getting what you need. So here's the big problem. Alibaba is basically a problem for some people because most entrepreneurs will go there. But if everyone is going there, the competition is way too high. And also, you're paying higher prices and your profit margins are going to be much lower. So relying on sites just like Alibaba and AliExpress is not the way to find products.
So just think about it. 2 million people who are selling on Amazon are all doing the same thing. They're jumping on to, say, Jungle Scout. They're looking for some great product ideas. Then they're all jumping on sites like Alibaba and AliExpress. All 2 million people are doing the exact same thing. They're reaching out to those same suppliers, asking them the same questions, waiting for their samples to come in, and then launching the exact same products. So like Neil said, competition. That's the big, big problem.
And most of the sellers on Alibaba are not the direct source for the products. They're trading companies, they're middlemen, they're agents, and they take a big chunk out of the potential profit that you're going to make on finding that product. So they're either charging much higher prices on Alibaba, or they have no control over the quality of the products or the consistency of the products. So really, it's not the place for you to spend all that time, because again, we speak to people who spend days and weeks on Alibaba just looking for this.
So can you make money really with using sites like Alibaba? Yeah, you can, but you can make more by not using sites like that. And like I said, top Amazon sellers are not using sites like Alibaba.
And also you have so many people online on YouTube and other stations saying, oh, this is the way to import. Go to Alibaba, find your product. But everyone's getting the same instructions. Millions and millions of people are just following that exact same thing. And everyone's looking at the exact same products, the exact same price. They think they're getting the best price, and they're not.
So like Neil said, suppliers are charging up to 60% more for products. Why?
Because they can.
Because they can, exactly. So let's jump into an example. This is a great story because we did a little research and we did a little test, and we kind of went in and we found some products and then reached out to suppliers. And we just so happened to pick a product that we actually work directly with the manufacturer for, that we manufacture and private label products for some of these companies.
So as many people know, I've been in the art, craft, DIY industry for over 30 years and worked with all the big chain stores supplying them with products. And so, we looked at a product where I know where it's being made, I know the manufacturer, and looking online and seeing what they're selling for. And you can see that this basic set of acrylic paints is selling on Amazon for $17.99. And I actually happen to know that Creative Joy brand, and I know where it's coming from. So we did a little bit of work ourselves, and we went online and we wanted to see exactly following the process of Alibaba, going on Alibaba, and this is an Alibaba view of what someone was selling, contacting the supplier, and it was showing that you can buy the set for $1.51. Well, buying it for $1.51, selling it for $18, that's some pretty good margins. The MOQ was only 500 sets. So I decided to do a little more investigative work and contact that company. And of course, you bring up a lot of other companies who are showing a similar product at a similar price and where it's coming from. And again, the advantage I had is I know the factories that make all these products. So what happened was I decided to reach out to this company and ask them the basic questions and a lot of the questions that we teach in our program, in our course, and to our students and clients of what to ask and get the answers, because that was the key. We really needed to get the answers. So I reached out to them and asked all the questions about, I want to place an order. This is what I want. And this is the response I got from them. So originally they were, of course, advertising 500 sets, but now they're saying that 500 sets is really, they can't do 500 sets at that price. On that basis of buying 500 sets, they can't offer the $1.51 price. Then they start asking, are we going to be a repeat customer? Is there more business? Is it long-term business? What's the quantity annually? Well, I don't really know that yet, because if I'm a first-time seller, I wouldn't know what my quantity is going to be for the year. And then about the OEM requirements. Well, they're advertising $1.51 for 500 sets, so wouldn't I get that? No. Now they're saying that really if I want to private label it, I need 20,000 sets. And if it's going to be a color box, it was a little bit different. They do it for 3,000 sets, but the interior, the actual product wouldn't be private labeled. So for 500 sets, I could get it, but it wouldn't be private labeled. It would be in their box, and I'd have to pay a $200 printing plate fee. So I was getting a little discouraged because they had all these fees, and Where before they said they could easily ship it to me, no problem, they have stock. Now they're telling at least 20 days. Well, if it's 20 days, is it 30 days? Is it 50 days or 60 days? I've seen this time in and time out over 35 years. So right away now, my price wasn't $1.51. It actually was up towards $9 and $10 just to bring it in to cover all of my costs. Well, that doesn't include my FBA fees. So now my profits aren't there. And so the $1.51 at looking at the $18 that it's being sold on Amazon, well, it's not costing me $1.51. It actually is costing me more towards $14 or $15. So am I going to do it for $2 or $3? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So that's where people are really misinformed about Alibaba and not knowing, because again, this took me actually, it was 10 days for getting all the answers back and forth. So really, was it a manufacturer or was it an agent or a trading company? They had to call the manufacturer and get all the answers. This is why it takes people days and weeks and months to finally get that product. And now after all that time, it wasn't the price that was advertised. So I guess we all say, if I only knew that, would I have spent weeks doing that?
Exactly. So if you knew you were going to be paying higher prices for products on Alibaba up to 60%, if you knew you were about to spend a ton more of time just looking for products, like Neil said, months, sometimes even years, and if you only knew that you were about to leave tons of money on the table, a lot of money, would you want to do something about it? We would, and we do. We do not source or buy from Alibaba personally. And we are not interested in wasting months sourcing for the same products as everyone else. We have a family and we don't want to take away from that. They're very, very important to us. This is our why. This is why we private label. This is why we have our business. Here is literally our business mantra, and we've talked about this in the past too. Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you can't get more time. And this is so, so important in business, in life, in everything. So let's jump into the next part of what we're going to talk about today, the next part of the game plan. How to put more money in your pocket at the end of the day, because that's what we all want, right? You need to understand money and where you should be spending it. So where to spend your money?
So products that you can buy for a low cost, very important. Products that are new to the market and follow a trend. Products that have good quality, of course, reliable suppliers, and do all of this fast before someone else does it before you.
And again, Alibaba is not the place that top sellers are doing this. It's not the place where we're doing it either. It's not the place where retail chain stores are doing it. So it takes us into the next part of the game plan. How do you do this? What do you need to take action right now that will save you a ton of time and money in your business? And this is what we call the Panda Express model to private labeling. And this is it, your solution. It's to go directly to China. So the Panda Express model to finding products. Now let's talk about this. What is it?
So it really means that you got to get on a plane. You got to make that small investment in your business, and you're taking action. You're finding the products that other people are not selling, and you're going to build those relationships once you're there. You're going to stop wasting time, and you have to start making money. So what's the secret? As Karen just mentioned, you got to go directly to China and work directly with the manufacturers and suppliers.
Now, we get it. We know it seems scary, and and a lot of people kind of hold back when they hear China and going directly there. And we know it seems scary because you have no idea what to do when you get there. You may think it costs too much. You don't have the time maybe to get away. You don't want to do it alone. And for whatever reason, just ask yourself, is this a true reason or is it an excuse? Because we're going to show you how all that stuff that we just talked about is really something that you can do. We're going to show you how you're going to be able to get there, how it doesn't cost a lot of money, that you're going to be able to find that time, and you don't have to do it alone. Because we created the Private Label University live event in China just for you. It's a way to find products to private label live in China in less than 7 days. And you can do that with us at the Private Label University. 7 days. Neil was just talking about finding products that it takes months. Even just knowing the products and just back and forth took a minimum of 10 days, just communication.
And even then, I wasn't successful with all the answers that I got from the company that I was communicating with.
We are going to make sure that you have the right tools and skills to do this when you get there. You're going to feel less stressed knowing that you're not leaving money on the table and you're not wasting time looking at the same things that everyone else is looking at on Jungle Scout and Alibaba or AliExpress. And you're going to start doing the things that you love. And the great thing is, you don't have to do it alone. You will have the support from us, from the Private Label University. So let's chat a little bit about what the live event is all about, because this is why you're all here, right? You want to find out about what the live event is about, how you can go directly to China and find products that aren't that haven't even hit the market.
And grow your business. That's the key here, growing your business and not having all that competition.
So let's talk about the Canton Fair.
So the Canton Fair, it's the largest fair in the world. And this is just one section of the fair. It's basically it's in Guangzhou, China. It's held twice a year in autumn and in springtime. And it used to be broken up in many parts of the cities. They actually built a complex in Guangzhou to carry and to hold, and it keeps expanding. They actually built an area where they can just expand for the next 10 years. It's building after building after building after complex after floor, and there's over 60,000 vendors that exhibit here. It's broken up, so it's in 3 different phases. And in those phases, it's where you have different sections. So from automotive to industrial to kitchenware, everything divided up for you. And the beauty of the show is the factories are there, people are there. And you can see that being held in April and being held in October, you get the advantage of choosing the time of year, whether you're going to be launching new products, you've already launched a bunch of products and you want to look for new products. This time we're holding our event, of course, in April. It's coming up. And it really is the fast track for finding products. The great thing is the fair complex is laid out now. Of course, this map looks pretty small, but those are our very, very large buildings. They have numerous electronic walkways, multi-levels in each building, so you can have up to 5-6 floors, and tens of thousands of vendors showing products. Again, over 60,000 vendors, and people are there to do business. And the great thing is the people that are showing there are there to do business. They're there looking for you. They're there looking for new buyers. They're there looking for new companies to do business with. And they understand Amazon. So it used to be years ago, they didn't know what Amazon was. Now they're looking for people who sell on Amazon because they know they can sell lots of products. Now, the great thing is I've been going there since 1989. So I was there even before it was still organized, but it was broken up into many streets, many parts of the cities, many hotels. I was like, you'd be exhausted by the end of the day because I would start at 5 a.m. and by 8 to 9 o'clock at night, I still wouldn't be finished in seeing just certain categories because I'd have to go down this street, down that street. And this was a section actually in a hotel where they housed them because they didn't have enough room in the city. So I learned how to navigate, how to work with the Canton Fair, not just the complex, but the company that operates it. I used to get invited by the Chinese government to attend and to be judging at certain categories. So I have a lot of knowledge of how the operation of the fair, and to make it a really enjoyable time. So you're not getting frustrated when you're there with a plan, you're there organized. And of course, the great thing is you're there with a company and people who've done the show for so long. So the great thing is,
actually, Neil, why don't you tell about the story when you went when you went the first time and the pricing?
So this is an interesting thing because people have said, when I'd be going over there and I have a lot of companies would hire me to do their business there. And there was one category that I was in, and it was actually for an industrial company. And they had a line of brushes. and it was for one of the big chain stores who does home decor. And what happened was I knew what they were paying from their supplier, and they were actually paying $3.45. And I remember this because they sent me to the buildings, and I say building after floor, and they were tiny. It wasn't air conditioned. And I was walking down an aisle, and I walked into a place, and I saw what I knew they would want. And I asked them the price, and they said 75 cents. And I said, 75 cents per piece? And they said, no, that's for the set. And I was very confused. I remember walking down the aisle, and I found someone because at that time my Mandarin wasn't so good. And I said, can you please help me? Here's the information I had. And I asked them again, partly what I call Chinglish in my Chinese, Mandarin and English. And the person said, no, that's right. 75 cents is the price. Well, they had been paying $3.45 for this product for all these years from a supplier, and they thought they were getting the greatest price because they were selling it for $19.99. So I thought 75 cents. All of a sudden, I started having other suppliers, other manufacturers chase me down in that aisle saying, oh, I see you were looking at this item. We can also make it for you. We can also make it. And all of a sudden, the price came down to 52 cents. An item that was selling for $19.99 in the stores was 52 cents. And I walked away. My head was ready to explode thinking, this is it. This is buying direct. This is the key to what these stores, well, a lot of these chain stores still didn't want to do business in China because you have to understand it. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know how to negotiate. You have to know how products are manufactured and labeled and really the flow chart of how things are done. And after doing it since 1989 at the Canton Fair, I've devised a system that works at the show. And so we still have chain stores who don't want to go, and they hire us to do the work for them. But the beauty is 52 cents selling for $19.99. And I love that story. It was just, I remember walking down that aisle and it was just crazy. So you have to remember.
It definitely is a great story, and it's a great experience it's a great story to share with everyone so they can see what the difference in pricing is, definitely. So is the fair a place for you? So if you're looking to find new products that haven't even hit the market.
Do you want better pricing? And do you want reliable suppliers?
Right. Do you want access to really a one-stop buying show? It's like literally Alibaba on steroids live. Or are you looking for really to stop wasting time and start making money? Because if you can answer yes to all these questions, then the fair is for you. Absolutely. This fair is for you. So how to attend? So we have open registration to our live event in China at the Canton Fair. That's right. We are taking people live to the Canton Fair. So let's talk a little bit about what our live event is about. So you're going to get full days of training in the classroom and live in the fair. We are going right in the fair, and you're going to do training right in the fair as well. The dates for April are April 20th to the 27th. But it doesn't stop with just the training there in China. We're going to go and we are going to give you a before the trip one-on-one call with us to get you prepared. So we're going to help you brainstorm ideas. We're going to get you ready so that when you arrive in China, you know exactly what to do. That's number one question we get from people. Well, if I went to China, I don't know what to do when I get there. You're going to know exactly what to do. And it doesn't stop there, because then you're going to come, you're going to go to your hotel. We're going to have a networking event in the evening so that we all meet and get ready for the next day, which is going to be the training. So day 2 and 3, we're going to do full days of training. We're going to teach you everything. We're talking about that 60-year-old system. We're going to teach you everything, and we're going to show you what you need to do to be successful at the fair and in your business. Then we are going to, as I mentioned, share our 60-year-old system. And this is the same system we've been using with the chain stores. And then we're going to take it right into the fair. We are going to personally be walking into the fair with you. We're going to show you how to implement everything that you've learned. And we're going to be watching and helping you and guiding you through the fair so you have success. And then you'll have time for the next few days to go on your own and to walk through the fair and to be able to, kind of go at your own pace and look and meet with suppliers and chat and negotiate deals and go through the process that we just taught you. But it doesn't stop there. We're also going to meet up with you after the fair. So you're going to get a one-on-one call with both Neil and I, where we're going to help keep that momentum going, right? It's not just about going to the fair and then leaving and then you come home and it's like, now what? I don't know what to do. Well, we're here to support you, and we're going to show you exactly what the next steps you need to take after the fair. We also have our Facebook private group that you'll be able to be a part of. And we have some other special bonuses that we're going to be sharing with you at the event as well. So it doesn't stop there. So you get the before, you get the during, and you get the after. As I mentioned, we literally make sure that you have it all, because we want you to not have to think about anything, right? We want you to just kind of go and know that you are supported the whole time. Our students have had 100% success finding products at the fair at the lowest prices. And we are so confident that you will have success that we're going to give you literally everything that you need. So I want to jump back here for 2 seconds before we continue, because yes, our students have had 100% success. And in a little bit, you're going to get to meet one of our students, Kim, who's going to talk to you about her experience. And it's absolutely remarkable. So stay tuned, because you're going to definitely want to hear what she has to say. So again, we are so confident that you will have success that we're giving you literally everything. We are so confident that we are adding some amazing bonuses. For example, if you join us, you can actually bring a friend for free. Yes, for free, a friend or a colleague, someone with you. So you're not doing this alone, and everyone is benefiting from it. But wait, if you take action today, you'll also get the following bonus. And this one we're so excited about, because we're going to arm you with everything. We are going to give you our Import Success Formula program. This is valued at $14.97. You can hop over to our website and you will see it there. It sells for $14.97, and we're going to give this to you for free for joining us live in China. It's literally over 50 training videos that are going to walk you through the private label process that we've been using over the last 3 decades. It's jam-packed with sourcing and packaging and importing and
launching
customs
products.
and launching products. And we don't stop there. We show you everything that you need to do, even the legal stuff. So this is a huge value, $14.97. We want you to be successful, so we are giving you the tools to do it. So what are the costs, right? Everyone wants to know, okay, so get to what does it cost? What does it cost? Well, it's $1,997, and that's including all the special bonuses. So let me just quickly jump over here for a second here, and I'm going to add the link here so that you can see this and you can click on it and get all the information here. So you should be able to see that right there. Perfect. Okay, so here it's $19.97. All the bonuses are included. Now, I told you, right? This would be worth it for you. You're getting everything that you need, every single thing. So let's go over it. You're getting full access to the Private Label University live event that's valued at $19.97. You're getting full access to Neil and I, and we charge for a VIP day $10,000, and you're getting us for this time. You're getting training and live implementation in the classroom and in the Canton Fair. No one is doing this. No one is doing this. And you're getting all the bonuses. You're getting a one-on-one call with Neil and I before the event and after the event. And we charge for our calls, $385. So you're getting that. You're also getting Bring a Friend for free. Again, $19.97 offer. And you're going to get full access to the Import Success Formula program, which is $14.97. So really, this whole event is over $16,000 in value, but you're only going to have to pay $1,907. I mean, it's amazing. So if all this event did was help you find a product that makes you, say, even an extra $500 per week or more, find a supplier that you can trust, buy products at low prices, give you more time to do the things that you love and not waste time sourcing on Alibaba, would it be worth it to you? Of course it would. All you have to do is just register and join us today. And yes, you will get all the bonuses. But I must actually tell you that if you did not register for the webinar today, if you are not now listening live with us, you will not have access to these bonuses. And these bonuses are literally going to give you everything you need and then some. You're going to have all the tools that you need to be successful, and you're going to get us live in China. So before we jump in to meeting Kim in a second, and before we jump into some questions, I want to actually play a little short video, which is an introduction to Kim, because I'm really, really excited for you to meet Kim. Kim found her second product the first day of the fair, and she launched a new brand on Amazon directly in the fair. And I want you to listen to her testimonial, and then we're going to jump into Kim live. We're going to get her on and just hear her experience and her story. And then we're going to open up to some questions because I know people have a lot of questions. So let me just jump in here and get her video up here. Hold on one second.
I'm looking for specific products. My husband is here. He's looking for medical things. It's so overwhelming because it's so big, so many floors, so many things to see, so many categories, and I don't want to get what you call product overwhelm. He said, I'm not going to the fair. I'm going to stay in the room and study my medical stuff. And here he is sourcing. He said last night, you know what, now I understand you.
The way that Neil and Karen
and Neil know their
are
stuff
making it,
for real.
It's
amazing.
It's amazing. They know their stuff.
They do. Great success, amazing success. I found a product that I've never seen, that's not in the US, that I haven't seen in any other booths. I found it in one booth, and it is just the epitome of what I'm looking for. It's a little intimidating because you guys know so much, but you know, everybody had to start somewhere, and at some point they didn't know that stuff. So I figured if I just hang around you guys long enough, I'll learn it too. We didn't really know all of these people, and we left as family. The sky's the limit of what we can do.
Having a university that has changed my life, there has been a spirit of excellence the way that Neil and you, Karen, have done the conference, and now to have a certificate from Private Label University and to know how to go in and get a product, I am just ready to go. Thank you so much.
Hey, pretty amazing, right? So, Kim, can you hear us? Are you on the line now? Because I cannot hear you or see you. We're going to have Kim come.
How about now?
Hey, Kim!
Hey, how are you? I'm here.
Live. I'm going to have people just type in the chat box here. I see there's a lot of chat here. Just kind of type in the chat box here. If you can hear us, just say, yeah, we can hear you. Because I just want to make sure that people can hear us. And I'm going to leave the offer up. So make sure that you can see the offer here. So, so if people want to click on that, if people are ready to kind of jump on here. So let's just see, make sure that people, yay, people can hear us. Okay, Kim, perfect. So we are so excited. You saw Kim's video, her testimonial. It was awesome. Kim attended the Canton Fair with us live last April and had such huge success. And she has such a wonderful story. And Kim, I'm hoping that you will be able to share your story of your private label journey and your experience that you had at the Canton Fair.
Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
I
We can hear you.
Yes. Maybe talk louder or closer to the mic. That might help.
Okay, well, great. I have to tell you that this was probably one of the best trips of my life. Karen and Neil talk a lot about the business aspect of it, and I am going to talk about how it impacted me in terms of business. But the upper side of the trip is that it's an experience. It's a lifetime experience. It is something to be in another country with like-minded people who are also doing business as you are. It's another thing to be in another country with people who have experience in that country. There's no other way that I would want to go to China than to go with Neil and Karen because of their years and years of experience and expertise in knowing what to do and when to do it, knowing how to negotiate, the things and the experience that they bring to the table on this trip. I can't even tell you how, I can't emphasize that enough. The fact that you're going with people who are experienced, who know what they're doing, you have interpreters, you're able to talk to people. It is an amazing trip. It's not all business, there's some fun involved. My husband and I went, and we're planning on going again. And I just want you to know that and feel that it's not just business, it's an experience. It really is an experience of a lifetime. But for me, I was an inventor and I met Karen and Neil because I had an idea for a brand that I saw in my head, a brand that products I was thinking I may have to invent and get people get patents and license and all kinds of things. And then I found Karen and Neil who showed me that there's another way to begin to launch this brand that I had in my mind. And they said that there's a possibility that some of the products that you already have in your head may already exist. And that maybe you can find them in China and import them to the United States and launch your brand that way. And they, truer words were not spoken. I am telling you, went there with an idea and a concept for a brand called Closet Candy. When I got there, I found exactly what I needed to launch that brand. I mean, I didn't have any products when I went there. Wasn't sure which product I was going to get, what I was going to do. By the time I left there with Karen and Neil's guidance on that trip, I came back with several products and was able to launch that brand. I am telling you that I found products, high quality products that I had not seen in the United States that I am now selling on Amazon and are selling every single month on a regular basis. I'm telling you that I launched a brand just from this trip. I'm also telling you that I found products that were under $1 in cost, that my cost for the product was under $1. But these are products that I sell for a higher, much, much higher price and high profit margins because the prices of these products are so low. There are so many exciting products. You have to try to restrain yourself from not trying to get every product because you'll see so many great deals and you'll see things that maybe you'll see the next great product or the next great idea that will come to the United States and launch big and sell millions of dollars. And you just don't know what you're going to find here. There's adventures around every corner, and it is a good time. It is fun. Everything is organized. You don't have to worry about anything. The food is excellent. For the foodies that are on the line, if you like food, the food is excellent. And once again, they're experienced in that, so they know where to take us, where to go, and where not to go. So that is a very important thing. So I really can't even tell you, I can't speak high enough about this trip, so much so that my husband and I would like to go again this April and find new products. My husband also went with me. He had no intentions on sourcing products. But he got there and he saw so many things and he saw so many products that really resonated with him that he ended up getting products and sourcing products. And now he's launching a product oriented business as well as his medical practice. So, I mean, anybody can do this when you have the right guidance. It just launched a business for me. It's really what it did. I went from zero to making money on an idea and a concept. So all I can say is it was an amazing trip. You do not want to miss it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
And it's true. I mean, everyone has got such amazing value from it. And everyone had different experiences based on what they wanted to get out of it and what products they were looking for. So thank you for sharing that, Kim, with everyone. Now we're going to jump into Q&A. So Kim, stay on the line because
Okay.
I'm sure some people are going to have questions for you. So
Sure.
if you'd like to just hop over to the chat room and type in your questions there. We're going to go through some of the questions. We were also emailed a bunch of questions for some people that could not attend. So we're going to address them as well. And you can address questions to Neil and I, and you can address questions to Kim as well if you want some information on that too. So let me just quickly go through some of the questions that we have here. Just looking through here. We have lots of people here from all over. I'll have Neil read the questions.
Joe has asked, I would like the details of what the investment would entail. Is the cost having a guide in China and any learning or exactly how would it work?
Mm-hmm. It's a great question. And so the cost of the trip is $19.97. That's all the training. You're going to get all the extra bonuses with that. I mean, literally everything that you need to private label a product. And of course, actually, Kim, if you can just mute for a sec, that'd be great. You'll also get bring a friend for free, which is also included in that bonus. So there's tons of savings there. And then flights. So we talked a little bit about this on our Facebook Live. We found flights as little as, what was it, $500?
Yeah.
And what was the website?
Scott's Cheap Flights.
Scott's Cheap Flights. You can find really great flights there. And it depends where you're coming from, really. From this, we were just kind of quoting it from Colorado. That's where we are. Hotels, we like to stay at the Langham Hotel just because, A, it's a beautiful hotel. The training's there, and you're literally steps away from walking to the fair. And sometimes we like to take little breaks so we're close to the hotel. You don't have to walk or take a bus or anything like that. But you don't have to stay at that hotel. It is more on the higher end price wise. But there are many hotels that you can find around the area that you can, take a 20-minute or 30-minute bus to the fair. They all have shuttles that range anywhere from, $100 to $200 as well. So you kind of look at the investment there. But again, looking at those numbers, think of your time. Time is money. Think of all the time you're going to be putting in searching on Alibaba, the 60%, if not more, that you're paying in pricing. So all those things kind of, add up as well. But as far as the investment, when we broke it down, what did we say? It was like I can't remember from that video. It was like $1,200.
$1,200 to $1,500
Right.
as an investment
to go, and that wasn't including the live training, of course, as well. So that's what you're looking at as far as numbers. So hopefully, Joey answered that question for you. And again, any other questions, or if there's something I missed, let me know. Amy, don't we need an interpreter when we are there? It's a great question, and yes and no to that. Having an interpreter, there's different types of interpreters. Let's start with that. And having an interpreter is, yes, a bonus, but having an interpreter who is a business partner, and that's what we do. We have a staff in China that are our business partners that we work with that are part of the Private Label University team. They act as interpreters and business partners that are available at an extra cost if you are looking for someone to support you through the fair after our live event. And Neil, why don't you talk a little bit about the interpreters in China when you're
Sure. So I know some people get, worried when they get there. They can't speak the language, what to do. What happens is when you get to the fair, they have certain streets blocked off, and there's thousands of people depending on the entrance. Anyways, people holding up little signs saying, I'm an interpreter, I'm an interpreter. And what they fail to tell you is that maybe their English isn't so good. Maybe they also don't understand as well. Maybe they're not in business. A lot of them are students. A lot of them are people who are unemployed who just say, well, I can speak some English, and they hold up a sign. But they also fail to tell you that you have to pay for them to get into the event. You have to vouch for them at the event. If anything goes wrong, you're held accountable. You can be put in a detention area because they happen to maybe steal a pop or pick something up. Now, not to say anyone is dishonest, but it happens, and we see it happen all the time. And I've seen it happen over the years where they hire someone, they get in, and that person disappears. They got some money, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to the washroom," and they're gone, and you've already paid them. So that's why we've had people on the ground, our own staff that have worked with us for many, many years in China. Some of them are in our office based in Hangzhou, and they come to be with us and work with us. And again, you can hire them. So we make it accessible. These are not just people or interpreters. They're also people in business who understand questions to ask and how to negotiate and get the job done.
Mm-hmm. So can you talk about the quality control once you find a product?
Sure. And again, that comes also to the point. Ramon asked, yes, can you please talk about quality control once you find a product? And it's a very important question. And we go over that in our training, in our in-house training, talking about inspections, quality control, product management, what you're going to ask the people. Because again, there's also trading companies, a lot of trading companies who show there, and there's also a lot of factories. You have to be able to distinguish the same. You can walk down an aisle looking for a kitchen knife, and there's 30 companies showing a similar kitchen knife, and they all have similar names to their factories. So how do you know which one's the factory? Of course, they're all going to tell you they're the factory, but you don't know. So there are key questions. Ask them about the product, the production of the product, where they're located, who they sell to. And then, of course, you have to do your research. But once you meet these companies, you can get the information and decide. And we help you. We educate you and train you. Again, the question to ask, and our staff tells you what to ask.
And you're going to be able to see the products right there and touch them and feel them and get samples, and you're going to be able to see really right there what that quality is.
Right. And if you have one, let's say you've brought a hunting knife and you want to match that knife, and you bring it saying, do you make this product? Maybe they have that actual product in their booth because they are the manufacturers. So you get to ask these questions and see it face to face.
I'm not sure I'd recommend bringing knives on the
airplane. No knives on the plane.
It's just an example. So Lynn asked here, does everyone who goes to the Canton have previous ideas for a product, or is it possible to discover a product while you're there? And that's a great question. And I'm actually going to have Kim, if you can pop back on and answer this question for Lynn, because you're a perfect person to answer it. Does anyone who go to the Canton Fair have a previous idea for a product, or is it possible to discover a product while you're there?
Well, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. My husband went with me, and he had no intention on doing anything. He was planning to study in the room and just go as an experience. But he found products that he now is going to be bringing into the United States that resonated with him. I found other products in China that I had no idea that I would find, just because it was something that I had interest in, that I liked, and that I thought I could sell. So yeah, you could go there. And there were other people in our group also that found products that, you had no idea you were going to find, but it's such a great product and a great deal, and you feel like you can really sell it. So that, indeed, that's a great question, because a lot of people do that. And just want to mention one thing, don't forget the shopping while you're there. They don't talk about that, but it's great. That's all I have to say.
The shopping is great. The shopping is great.
Yeah.
And Kim brought up a great point. We had we have a mixture. Kim, if you could just mute for a sec, that'd be great. We have a mixture of people who come with us, from people who have a lot of experience to people who are newbies. And that's what's so great, because we've had people who didn't even have an Amazon business even set up, just people who are kind of looking at the idea, wanted to get a feel for products, and didn't have a product in mind, and yet went to the fair. Actually, one in particular went to the fair, found an amazing product, and ordered a container right then at the fair and launched a business. So it's really for anyone. So yes, absolutely. It's a great question. And, you don't have to have necessarily a product idea, but one of the things that we do when we do our one-on-one is to help you at least come up with a category or an idea of an area that you want to be looking for products, because you don't want to get what we call PPS, perfect product syndrome. It's that product overwhelm, because when you get into this fair, like Neil said, there's over 60,000 vendors there. And I mean, there's just so much to see. You need to have some type of focus. And so in our program, in the Import Success Formula program that you're going to get for free, you're going to get all these exercises to really help you hone in on that category, if not even on that product, so that when you go to the fair, you are so prepared and ready and focused to find products within that category. So hopefully, Lynn, that answered your question.
Joe asked about the airport.
Joe asked about she's based in the UK. Can I get guidance on the requirements to launch on Amazon.com? Absolutely. We talk about Amazon.com and how to launch, and it doesn't matter where you're from. If there's certain specific things that you want to know, absolutely, we can gear it into the training as well. And I want you to keep in mind, when we do our training, you're not with hundreds of people in a room. We keep our groups really small so that you guys get us 100% and you get that personal touch of us in your business and helping you. We're working with you on the computer, by your side, working with things, teaching you. You have questions. We're approachable. We're around. So it's really unique in that way. So yes, if there are specific things that you want to know that is maybe specific just to you, then absolutely make a list and we can get that information for you as well. Another thing is, a lot of the times we don't talk about products because we don't want to share our product ideas, because there's lots of people that steal product ideas. So we actually sign NDAs so that if you want to talk to us specifically about your product or something that you found or you want us to have a look at, then we would sign an NDA and you would feel more comfortable then talking to us directly about what the product is. So that's how committed we are to you and helping you succeed. So also you have asked, what airport should we be looking at going to in China?
It's the Baiyun Airport in Guangzhou. So you'll fly directly into Guangzhou. Again, any of the major cities should have flights flying there. Or you can fly to Hong Kong and then take the train or the bus directly into Guangzhou. It's very inexpensive to do that. But typically, it's an international airport, the Baiyun Airport, and we'll list it up there and easy to do. Also, I just want to mention, we've also, a lot of people who, they see these different programs where the people will teach you and, come to China. And we actually had someone who joined us on a previous trip. They paid $10,000 for 1 day in China for training. And then they were dropped off at the fair and said, you're on your own. And they actually heard about us being in China and they said, can we join your group there and pay to be at your live event? Because we don't even know what to do. And I said, well, you paid $10,000. He said, well, $10,000 was some training, but there was no training done at the fair. We make sure that we take you in the fair. And that's why it's very important to us to take you and train you in the fair on the ground, working with booths, knowing what to ask, knowing what to look for. Very, very important when going to any trade show, knowing how to navigate. And I've done trade shows in South America, in North America, in Europe, in Asia, many, many countries from South Korea, Japan, China. So I know how the fairs work, and it's very important to have that experience and the knowledge once you're there.
Mm-hmm. Let me just look at other questions here.
Cost for an interpreter?
So the cost of interpreters.
Okay. So again, loaded question. It can range anywhere from $50 up to about, I'm going to say $150 a day, and that's US dollars. Mm-hmm. But the key is, if you pay nothing, you're going to get someone who really doesn't know much.
Mm-hmm. And that's just, picking someone up off the street type of thing. So actually, and I'm going to kind of jump a little bit ahead here because I see Amy's asking for the cost to use our staff. So we have a staff, yes, that is on the floor with us. And if you want to use our staff, it is a daily cost of $200 for the day. I know it's so cheap, but $200 of a day. Again, we want to make sure that we are giving you everything. And so you are able to use our staff to help you navigate through the fair, and they'll help you with interpretation and negotiations and stuff like that. So they are fast to come by. People, want want them right away. So if it's something that you're thinking about, then yes.
And the key is, like Karen
you
said,
can-
our staff is experienced in importing, in exporting, in product development, in packaging. That's what they do for us. And also, of course, they speak English and they speak Mandarin. So they can at least take you everywhere in the show and you're not going to get lost. And we've had people who said, oh, I can do it on my own. And all of a sudden we're getting a call at 6 o'clock. I don't know how to get out of here. I'm stuck. And they're like blocks away because no one could help them getting back. So, also a safety factor. It's very safe there. But when you're in building after building after building, you want to know how to get back to where you were, or I forgot where that product was. They're basically your personal assistant for you when they're at the show.
Mm-hmm. And it's per person because, again, you want to make sure that you're keeping your products confidential as well. So, Amy, you have a great question. And actually, we just had a conversation with someone about this. What is your view on the Canton Fair versus going to Yiwu? Okay, so Neil start and then I'll end it because it's night and day.
So the first thing that comes to my mind, if anyone's seen any of the zombie movies, World War Z, where you have thousands of people rushing through a market and going crazy, that's kind of Yiwu. And then going to a shopping mall that's organized, that's the Canton Fair. Yiwu is a very special entity in itself. Again, I'm very fortunate. I've been doing Yiwu for almost 19 years. I have staff that works there. If you talk to a lot of people in China, in business, professional companies, they'll say, we hate Yiwu. We don't want to go there. It's a very unique place. It's not the place to start. You don't know what you're getting. You have no control. You're paying cash. You're paying up front. You may never get your product. We're a little different. We have our own warehouse. We have our own staff there. And we did that purposely. We made sure we set that up because we need someone there all the time. Most companies, even in China, will not want to do business there. We've seen some people try to advertise, go to Yiwu. It's a giant flea market. So when you go to a flea market, do you know who's manufacturing it, where they got it from? Is it used? Is it new? You have no idea.
And that's actually the key. So we actually were just there in October. Visiting our staff, some of our staff that live there, that fly in, and they go all over the place for us. But we were just over there, and I'll tell you, if you have PPS now, perfect product syndrome, you have no idea what you're up against. And it's, and like Neil said, is it used? Is it new? It's like a giant flea market that you have to literally it's like a rat race in there. It was very difficult to find things. It was very difficult to find quality. Actually, found the prices were actually higher.
And even a lot of people who even work there, you'll say, well, do you know where this is? And they'll say, I have no clue. It could be in one of those buildings because it's a city that's built up in just market after market after market. And you really, unless you are there all the time, 24 hours a day, some people live there still don't know where a lot of products are coming from. They say, well, I don't know. It could be manufactured there. We don't know. So there's a lot of secrecy there, and it's not recommended unless you really have a lot of experience. And I'm going to say 10, 15 years in doing business over there. And even then.
And we've heard a lot of people, going over there, and it's like Neil said, if you don't have years of experience and people on ground there, they
get the wrong product. They get the wrong packaging.
It's a mess. I mean, it's not not one of my favorite places. That's why I love the Canton Fair. And I mean, we've had, and Neil's been doing this for, going to the fair for over 20 years. It's a place to just know that you're getting real quality and you're meeting the people you're supposed to be meeting. There's no distrust. It's just cleaner and safer and more organized.
Yeah, it really is the place where all the professional factories and companies go to exhibit. And that's why it's so huge.
Ramon, I'm experienced PPS, I think. And let me tell you, that's okay. And that's normal. We all get PPS. And I'm telling you, whether you go to any trade show, and even if you join us or you go by yourself to the Canton Fair, you will have PPS. It's about learning how to manage that. And actually, that's something we talk about in our Import Success Formula program, that free program. In one of the 50 plus videos, we talk about perfect product syndrome and how to overcome that. And that is key because when you get PPS, when you get product overwhelm, it really hinders your business production. It really does. You'll end up picking the wrong products and not maybe launching. It really, really does. So you are not alone. Just know that you are not alone. And that is totally normal.
And we teach you how to make it stress-free at the show. That's very important.
Okay, so outside the cost of going to the Canton Fair, what are the minimum costs to launch a private label product on Amazon? Great question. And we actually did a Facebook Live on this, talking about the minimum costs. So do you want to talk about that? I think what are the minimum costs of starting a private label product
on Amazon? Well, of course, it's going to come down to, I always tell people, look at reality. Are you are you going to private label a laser, or are you going to private label a comb? So it's really what your product is. And to say, if you're going to, the minimum launch is going to be $1,000. It's just the reality of it. When you have these people telling you it's going to cost $60, it's going to cost $50. I have personally done it with $500. So I know with getting my Amazon site, paying the $39.99 a month, getting some product in, looking at the fees of testing it, and this was a test run, it was $500. Mm-hmm. And I launched a private label product.
And that was even actually giving away some products to get, your listing up with reviews and stuff like that too.
Right.
Yeah.
But it depends on the product itself. This was a low cost item, so I was able to play with it. And a lot of times if I'm launching a new product line, I want to start with something that's an accessory to what the main products are going to be. So I'm getting money coming in to launch that bigger product that's going to be even more profitable.
I hope that answers your question. And Sailor, question is, can we use your warehouse and your people? And we get that question every single day. So I love it. So yes, let's address that. So our warehouse, our people are not open to the public, I guess, at this time. However, we do private one-on-one coaching, which is a year commitment that we work one-on-one with people, and in your business, finding products, assisting you week by week. And we do offer that to our private clients. They get access to all of our people, all our shipping agents and our importers and our customs, our warehouse, our people on land in China. They get access to everything when this is for our private clients. However, in the Import Success Formula program, we did create a Rolodex of the tools and resources that we do use and that we've also checked out that are good and reliable. So you will get access to that Rolodex, just so you know. But yes, if you want access to our people and our warehouse and that, we do that with our private clients, their one-on-one clients. So what percentage of buyers at fair are foreign visitors? Great question.
So when I first started going, I was probably the 1%.
Because you had to go you were only invited. You had to be invited. You couldn't just go.
And so I stood out like a sore thumb. And it was very unique. Nowadays, I'm going to say that's probably about 70%. But then again, with the size of Asia and Malaysia and Southeast Asia, that's all considered, of course, foreign buyers. So it's about 70% almost, because, of course, China is a mega country for production now. If you look at, there's so now they actually have international pavilions that's set up in different areas. So in every phase, they have an area where you have companies from Singapore and Thailand and Pakistan and South Korea who are also showing international flair at the show as well. But as far as foreign buyers, a lot of people from Europe, a lot of people from the Middle East, North Africa, Africa, South Africa, Australia, everywhere. I'll be honest, there's not a lot of North Americans who go. You can walk down aisles for sometimes a lot of time and not see North Americans, and people will stop you and saying, "Oh, you're from USA," and they get so excited.
And I think it's because a lot of us in North America are just really relying on sites like Alibaba in AliExpress and not actually getting up and going there. And I mean, we showed you it's definitely worth the cost because you're spending so much more time and money by not going. And I think, that's why a lot of these top buyers and the big retailers, the big chain stores, you don't see Walmart going on an Alibaba.
Yeah, and you'll see tons of course, the place is filled. You can be in some buildings where you're the only, if you have to be a Caucasian, it's mainly Asian people. But again, Asian meaning foreign buyers, Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore, all parts of Malaysia, they all look Asian. So you think, oh, they're commoners, but they're foreigners. And so and they're setting up export companies as well. So I remember, I think it was someone was on our trip. They stopped someone. They had to ask them in English, and they stopped a person that was Caucasian. They said, "Can you help me?" And they said, "Nein, sprechen de Deutsch." So you'll see someone who looks like they're maybe from North America, but they're from Germany, or they're from Italy, or they're from, Australian people, of course, speak some English. But again, that's a foreigner. So when you think North American, there's not a lot of people from North America. Now, you'll see sometimes a representative from Walmart or Target, the big stores, but private people, they're just going to sit at home and look on Alibaba. They're not going to the show. So you have that advantage being at the show. And people get so excited when they start to meet new companies from North America.
Mm-hmm. And that's a key. That's key. So, it's important for us to, especially if you're selling on Amazon, because years ago, if you told them you were selling on Amazon, they would be like, oh, okay, because they're not interested. Yeah. But now they're looking forward to it. When we were just there in October, they were telling us about, oh, yes, we have a lot of clients who take our products and use our products and private label them and sell them on Amazon. And it's a wonderful thing to hear and see, because this was something that was not heard of years ago.
And the advantage is some of the factories that we stopped and asked, these are, of course, factories that I know personally. So they were able to indulge in conversation because they know it was confidential. Sometimes they won't tell you, but they'll advertise that they sell to Walmart and Target and Toys R Us and Home Depot. And they won't tell you Amazon products. But once you start doing business, they'll say, oh, we know this is sold on online. So at least you know if you want to venture into that. And again, that opportunity is there. It's waiting. They're looking for new customers. And the great thing is, again, when we come down, you'd say, oh, I'm from North America. Oh, we don't sell to North America. We'd love to look at that. Where do you sell? And you're there to do business. So they don't really care if you're big or you're small. And so the nice thing was they would get so excited because they've never exported to North America. They export to Europe, they export to Australia, to Africa, to all these countries, to Mexico, but not to North America.
And the same thing too, you'll find some manufacturers there that have never exported to certain parts of Europe, like to Europe. And so it gives them an opportunity to, work with people who are launching businesses, say, on Amazon that live in different places as well.
Yeah, and they get excited because they know they're getting involved with someone new who's launching a product, who's launching a private label product, and it's exciting for them.
Mm-hmm. So any other questions, please post in the chat because we're going to be wrapping up soon. And again, just to go over everything, you're going to get everything. And the price is $19.97. Bring a friend for free. You're getting our $14.97 program, the Import Success Formula program. You're getting the before, the during, and the after support as well for this. And I must tell you that this is a live event. So this is not going to be available for a very long time. This is a live event. And we are actually going to be pulling the plug on promoting this live event in the next couple of weeks as well, because we are going to stop taking registration for this event because we need to start getting prepared and get everyone ready and get all those one-on-ones in. So if this is something you are absolutely considering and you want to take advantage of all the bonuses, then you're definitely going to want to click that button over to the right-hand side and sign up. We have limited space. Like I said, we do not have open enrollment for hundreds of people. We want to make sure this is a small group. It is more manageable, and you guys are going to get so much more value that way. So Again, if this is something that you're considering, you definitely want to click and join us in China. And if any other questions come up, please, all you have to do is reach out to us, and we are here to answer any questions. And you can see here, this is our Facebook group that was just posted here. If you want to click on that, that would be great. We have a private Facebook group called Private Label University for Amazon and eBay sellers, and you can click on that and join our group. We post tons of things there, and you can keep up to date on what's going on. Actually, we have a question here from Amy. What day do we need to arrive at the event? Great question. Because of time differences, so you want to definitely make sure you're there the day before, so for the 19th. So for example, for the 19th, or you can even arrive if you're arriving on the 20th in the morning, because the meet and greet is going to be in the evening. But I recommend, usually the flights that come in, usually we've seen is in the evening. So the 19th might be something to think about. So absolutely, yeah. So when you're traveling, something to consider when you're looking at your flight, because this can be confusing. If you're leaving, say, on the 18th, you're not going to be arriving on the 18th. You're going to be arriving on the 19th, and sometimes, depending on where you are, the 20th. So make sure you look at that. Absolutely. So we hope you got value. We hope that you're going to be joining us in China, because we'd love to meet you and help you build your business. Again, our job is to really provide you value and to give you everything so that you are confident in what you're doing. It's not just an event and we're going to be kind of, talking and having speakers kind of touching the surface. We're giving you everything, and we're, giving you our all, including our formula that we are not offering. If you go over to our live event on our Facebook page, you'll see that these bonuses are not offered. So you will have access to that through this webinar. So we hope you got value. Love to get your feedback. Let us know. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Talk to you soon.
Enjoy.
Thanks for being here.
And thank you so much, Kim, for joining us.
Thanks, Kim.
She is amazing. And we're looking forward to another event with Kim in April as well. And so anyone coming with us, you'll get the opportunity to meet this most amazing woman. So thank you, Kim.
You're welcome. All right. See you later.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.